Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more of the RISS. This is a great series. We had a really interesting game number one. It's between Bonyth, our Protoss player from Poland in the top left, and Mihu, our Terran player from China in the bottom right. Very excited for this series. I like that Bonyth pulled out his Corsair type play. It didn't work out that game. Mihu had done too much damage. Really interesting, too, to watch the way that Mihu skipped Vultures completely and went only Goliath after that. Not something I expected, but it was very cool. It felt very off the cuff. I haven't... Actually, to be fair, there's only one other game I ever saw. I casted in a KSL qualifier game once where a player just went Goliath tank. Like mass Goliaths with mass tank. And he didn't end up winning. It wasn't a pro gamer. It was just like a high-level Terran. But yeah, this is only the second time I've seen something like that, and Mihu makes it work after that initial damage. So an interesting thing. It's something I kind of have on my mind from that game. But hoping that this is going to be a nice close one. It is a best of 7. If it starts going one side, it's just going to end. So hopefully Bonyth can get himself on the board. We're on Overwatch here. Overwatch is a 2-player map. I think it's a very good 2-player map. But it does have parts that are going to be really difficult. This is actually a great map for carriers. I'll show you some of the terrain as we move out. Right now, only seeing the main bases is going to be impossible to do. This is a hilarious SimCity because this is so far away that microing Marines down here is not something that would be helpful against solid harassment up here very much, right? So just in case there were proxy gates, since it's like a 2-player map, I think it's much better to do a SimCity like over here or over here. So that's kind of funny to see. And this Overwatch is a popular map. We've had it for a long time. It's been on ladder. It's been in tournaments. It's not currently used a super lot, but it's still a quality map. So, I would think Mihu would have a better place to put that. But whatever. It's a small thing. Everyone's can kind of play StarCraft how they want. But yeah, as we go across the center of the map, you see, right, this is the small bridge that leads to the center immediately. This is impossible to push over for either side. Like, only a few units on the other side basically completely stops you from going over, right? But that is the quickest rush distance, so it is there. It is a possibility. You also have the center of the map. This is only small units get through. It's like that little, Vultures don't fit through there, okay? That's... Zealots do, Vultures don't, okay? That'll give you a good idea. Then you have these ramps in the middle that let you switch sides and go around. And then there's going to be a massive high ground ramp over here and over here. Well, I'm showing you in the fog of war, so maybe it's not that clear, but you'll see. Basically, there's a lot of terrain changes. There's a lot of places where units can't chase. There's a lot of places for carriers to hide and quickly move through the map where units can't follow them, right? Whereas a more open middle of the map with less small bridges and less ramps, it's a lot easier to move your army across this Terran. So it's certainly a very, very good map for carriers. I would be surprised if Bonyth doesn't try to aim for some sort of carrier play here, since that is his best play. Okay, looking at the two sides, this is amazing to see. Okay, he does pop out a 3rd Marine. I was like, you're not going to make a command center with 2 Marines against a Zealot that's sitting in your face. That is just madness. This is a bad scenario right now for Mihu. Like, he didn't go for a Vulture, which is standard here. A Vulture, 3 Marines, and an SCV can actually kind of fight against this. 3 Marines alone? Absolutely not. Not even close, as you see. Like, he damaged a Zealot, and that's it. A Siege Tank gets built. He is very lucky that Bonyth didn't send another unit. If Bonyth had another unit, like, already... Well, I think he actually skipped his 2nd Dragoon for a minute. That should have already popped, but, wasn't paying complete attention to that. It was just kind of watching Mihu get devastated by 2 units. But yeah, ooh, that's a good surround right there. So he kills off the Dragoon. He's going to live through it. But yeah, as you can see, he was playing a little bit greedy there and definitely did get punished. This SCV still getting good scouting, though. He saw that a Robo got started. That's huge, huge intel. When you see that Robo, you know how far back you can do things like push your engineering bay. You don't necessarily need to block DT type tech, right? It's you have time. So a single Marine in there, a tank, continuing to make siege tanks. Now, the fact that he's making tanks and we don't have like any vultures on the map, Mihu's playing this completely blind. The only thing he knows is that a robo's on the way, which actually is reasonable, right? Like you know that a robo's coming, okay. Like I said, you can push back some of your defensive timings. Now Bonyth is going for 3-gate observer, right? The robo's coming up. He adds 2 gates. He's going to have a lot of dragoons. If you try any attack as Mihu, you're going to be in a terrible spot. Armory coming up. He should probably start Academy, I'm guessing. Oh, no, just a supply depot. So I guess it'll end up being maybe an engineering bay with that. That's pretty popular. But again, that's going to give him no intel as to what's happening. Yeah, kind of a funny opening. These are older ways to play. We don't see it like this as much right now. Not that they're bad. They're both still used. It's just not as modern, right? Like, you can sit there and make siege tanks behind your bunker and just go armory and, like, play an upgrade Terran game, and it's good. But you don't have any real map presence, right? Like, see this SCU walks out. If there's a goon here, it doesn't, right? Like, there are ways for Bonyth to block this. Mihu, you know, Bonyth is sitting back so defensively himself. Mihu does do a lot of early attacks, so I understand. Like, his image is allowing this SCV to scout. So he's pretty lucky to be able to get up here, and he's going to actually see that Bonyth is thinking about taking this 3rd base. So that's some good intel. But, you know, normally when you do a build like this, you don't get, like, any information, and you're just optimizing your macro and your upgrades to try to be able to deal with anything. And then on Bonyth's side, what he's doing here, this generally is just to stop any attacks that come in. If your opponent attacks into 3-gate observer, it beats everything. You just have way too many units. Now, he goes across the map. I mean, he can't attack in there at all. Not like this would dominate this. Now, to be fair, he's a Protoss player, so he goes ahead and walks forward. The tanks are just sitting there, and Mihu doesn't respond very quickly. I think this caught him very off guard. It's funny because he had siege mode as well. So Bonyth jumped on him and got unbelievable value there. If this was me, I would be screaming right now because, like, 6 goons against 3 tanks behind a bunker with, like, a Goliath sitting there, it's not even close. But I guess if you leave them unsieged and your opponent flies over with an observer and sees what you're doing, this is part of having no vision, right? Like, normally with a Vulture Expand, you lay mines, you see the goons coming, you get yourself in a more defensive spot. But here, it's like you get caught off guard and suddenly it's a bad situation. But it's not the end of the game, right? It's bad. It'll make taking a 3rd base a bit harder because you lost 2 tanks early, but, you know, he'll soldier through. Now, the Stargate is already on the way, as is that +1 ship attacks. 3rd Nexus going to be finishing. Lots of goons here to just slow everything down. They're going to put a lot of damage on this barracks. You cannot be losing that because you do need to do your factory adds pretty quickly here. If he loses that, he literally needs to restart it immediately. 3rd Command Center gets started for Mihu. And Bonyth, yeah, he takes 1 siege tank hit to kill the barracks. So, again, you have to actually restart the barracks right now because the timing to add 2 more factories is, like, right away. In fact, this is going to bring you up right to the edge of when you need to start them. So as soon as this finishes, we'll see Mihu add at least 2 factories there. Mihu, by the way, for his anti-air, has chosen Goliaths as opposed to turrets. He does have those ComSat scanners. Ooh, I just heard that. And he sees the Corsair, and he sees the 2nd Stargate with his scan. So he knows what's going on. He played that first game and did get de-webbed. So I think he's going to have a very good idea of what's going on. Oh, my God. Pushes too far forward, and Bonyth just runs in and targets down the siege tanks. Man, killing 2 more siege tanks is gigantic. Reducing the army count of anything right now is gigantic for Mihu. Oh, I don't think he gets that, does he? Oh my God, he does. Okay, well, he has killed like 5 tanks at this point. Completely worth it for the goons. He's on 3 Nexuses, has a few more workers than his opponent. His gates just continually producing those Dragoons as well. And he's going up to 4 Corsairs, it looks like. So, like, if you have 4 D-Webs and your opponent only has 2 factories here, dude, this is bad, bad, bad right now for Mihu. And he has to add those 2 factories I was talking about. This is done now. You've got to get your additional factories up. 3 factories is not going to give you enough to really do anything. He's getting speed and mines at the moment, making what tanks he can. Bonyth's just going to run over the bridge even. Well, I mean, Mihu has, like, no units. He backs up. His bunker only has 1 Marine in it. Can you guys believe this all happened because he didn't make a Vulture at the beginning of the game? Really? I mean, modern builds are modern for a reason. A lot of things get figured out. It's like, oh, yes, the scouting intel plus safety of that first Vulture prevents a lot of what's occurred here. You know, Mihu playing so blind, like, Bonyth just keeps running in. He's got observers absolutely everywhere. See, right now, Mihu trying to figure out, like, okay, can I take out these goons? He's going to aggressively attacking them. I think this is smart now. He might end up losing more, but he's got to make something happen at this point. It's, like, really important that he gets out and mines from this third base location. Okay, the Corsairs, the Corsair production is certainly done. Disruption Web on the way. He's going to need to get that carrier interceptor upgrade after that. That 1 goon trying to make its way out. Mihu going to take this third base location, sending a bunch of SCVs down there. His factories are really, really late this game. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Covert ops. I'm getting chills. Okay. Here's what it is, guys. This isn't a troll, okay? Mihu knows how far behind he is. I think you guys sense it from my casting as well, right? Like, you've watched the game. If you watch ArtosisCasts, you're probably pretty into Brood War. You look at this, you're like, wow, that's a lot of tanks to lose early on. You're probably in a lot of trouble. He is. He is. So what do you do to try to come back? Well, Mihu has chosen lockdown. I can't wait. If he makes this work, he is a god. Like, really and truly. Man. All right, 3 more factories on the way. He is going to have to add these facts, right? Like, he needs his macro going. You can't just make ghosts. But ghosts are very hard to use, guys. So after the first ghost pops out, people ask me all the time about using ghosts. So units pop out with 50 energy. Okay, to gain 50 energy, it takes 1 minute. Oh, he actually scanned there to see if there was an observer. There was not. He wants to know if Bonyth has any idea. So a minute after a ghost pops out, it can do 1 lockdown. Lockdown has okay range, but the way carriers normally micro, it's hard to get the ghosts in range to actually get the lockdown. I don't know if this is going to work at all. No one has really been able to make ghosts work in this matchup. The one player that has really tried very hard in recent years is Royal, who did win an ASL. Not with ghosts, but he has actually really tried to make ghosts work in multiple matchups. We did see Nada, of course, almost kill Larva with a nuke rush. That's something different, but utilizing specifically lockdown, excuse me, is something only Royal has really tried. To very mixed success. So we're going to see in a moment here. He has 2 ghosts already. One has lockdown energy. The other one, you know, is getting close. Like, what, 20 seconds? A little less. He's getting a ghost vision. The vision is actually very important. That allows the ghost to do things at further range. And here we go. The 2 carriers come down. You know what? If he comes down, locks those down, he will kill them. Oh my god, this is so exciting. The ghosts go up there for some reason. Bad pathing. The carriers... Look, this is a lot of turrets. He sieges up there. Dude, this is exciting stuff. Oh my god. Moves forward and actually takes out one of the Corsairs. Definitely worth it, even if he loses that Goliath. He might just... Yeah, just barely. Keeps the ghosts very far back. He doesn't want Bonyth to know. Because as soon as you see ghosts, you can play a very different looking game. Where you just never commit your carriers forward. They, you know, they cost 75 gas, which does cut into your other production. I am actually just, I am so wiggly excited about this. I want to see lockdown work so badly, guys. I want Mihu to just destroy with lockdown and for me to learn something new. All right. Carriers. Getting ready for something. Bonyth, it's actually good supply for Mihu. He's done great on his SCV production. 154 supply against 173. Really not too bad, but it is a much bigger army, right? It's like 25 more army supply. Okay, we just heard ghost attacks, so he should know now. They really... Oh, man. When they're cloaked, they don't auto-attack. You have to give them a certain command to make them attack. You have to give them hold position command. You can't, like, attack move them when they're cloaked, right? But cloak is not the biggest thing right now. Cloak can be useful, but cloak uses 25 energy, so, like, they have to actually have, like, 150 energy to make cloak useful against the carriers. Anyways, 4 ghosts. If he gets 4 lockdowns on the carriers, his army wins. But how do you do that? Right? Like, his army is better if you take 4 carriers out of the equation. It seems like a hard task. 4th base is here for Bonyth. He's moving through. There is an observer here, so Bonyth 100% sees the ghosts, even if he didn't hear them before, which I assume he did. Mihu trying to take an additional base over to the side. All right, here come the disruption webs, guys. This is going to be a crazy battle that we see. Okay, oh my god, those disruption webs are insane. Look at the amount of tanks. He shuts down 7 tanks with those. Shuts down 2 more on the other side. Backing up out of these spells. Can we get a single lockdown? Can we do it? Let's see it goes. Okay, he gets 1. Gets 2. But unfortunately, his army has already reduced in size significantly. Oh, man. The Protoss army is just so much bigger right now. Locks down a Dragoon, getting anything he can. And that's not going to work. Bonyth absolutely crushing in game number 2. I love the attempt on lockdown. Man. GG.